This is imagine a hipster standing there in a zoot suit to watch. It's a little, of course, with everything you pick up stick, it's a little different.
I got that angle now. That's
That's at an angle.
okay, I see it. Some reason my brain is more reverse. I'm left-handed. I'm trying to do it.
Oh, you're doing it downward. That's okay. As with all of these, your hand moves in a little circle along the angle, and that makes the string move in a greater circle. And with all this stuff, you'll find you kind of like turning your shoulders or move your elbow to get things in a place where it's got the center it needs to move. And that's sort of a self-exploration sort of thing, figuring out how your body moves. People are all different as far as that goes. All right. So that's something that you guys can work on more on your own time. There's lots to explore there. The other thing to explore is adding power to those. So with the stick, remember that when they're going downward, you're going to be dropping your weight on it. But during the point of impact, with the upward motion, you're going to be raising up your knees to add power across the target. So what we're after there is unpredictability. And we've added some unpredictability by doubling up on the side or doubling up on the diagonal. So now we're going to talk about other ways that your pattern can be altered without having to use your muscles and joints to stop the motion of your sword. The easiest way to alter the pattern and stop the motion of your sword without straining yourself is to hit something. And immediately, there's an opponent standing in front of you. You can hit them in the head or you can hit them in the shield. Doesn't matter what you hit. One of the things that happens is your sword stops. It's whatever diagonal or figure-eight pattern you were in. You have now been relieved of the necessity to continue that particular motion, and you have the opportunity to relaunch your sword in a new direction. And this may look familiar. Anything out here is basically long point. You're ending up with your sword pointing out away from your body. So now that we're talking about circular motions and thinking about centers and circles, you've got the situation where your sword tip is out there pretty much where you want it to be at the end of your next motion. So you can establish a circle centered mostly around the wrist with a little bit of elbow that traces from this position 360 degrees back out there to hit your opponent somewhere. So a simple application of this might be flat horizontal plane. So here we are, 360 degrees, back to the same spot. This is the old brickbat. This is going to be pretty familiar to people. Boom, boom, boom. This sort of thing. All that is you're in long point, you're moving along a flat circular plane and back to the target again, 360 degrees to the target. With a moderately heavy sword and good body dynamics, you should be able to hit hard enough even around here for the 360 degree rotation. If you have less than 360 degrees, maybe not so much, because frankly, that will usually be enough. Once again, all the dynamics, right? You're pulling back against the weight. You're powering by pushing with your feet. Since we're doing a flat plane here, we can't drop or raise our knees much, but we can lean away from the force. Remembering that a small motion of the hand generates a big motion on the tip. All those things put together allow us to deliver force in a 360-degree motion like that. Now, this is the one we're all familiar with, but the fact is, when you're out here, you can set this angle up in any direction. So from here comes this way, from here comes this way, could come around this way, could come around that way. You can hit any of the angles in a 360-degree arc once you're here. This is a real moment of opportunity. When you're out in long point, you've got a 360-degree turn to any place. Now, the thing that takes a little while to get used to is if I want to get got it out here, and you're behind your shield, you don't want to come back to this side of your shield. You can hand on that side of your shield, flip the circle, and drop it in. You can actually spin it right around your wrist as long as you keep that flat plane and remember what your dynamics are. That can be an interesting leg thing too. You can be like here on the leg, you can flip and hit the other leg. If someone's squared up against you, you can be there, and flip to the other leg. Flat plane right in front of yourself. Alright. Okay, so some things to think about. We've hit the target. One way to think about it is you can reverse, you stop on the target, you can reverse the motion, and obviously come absolutely opposite of where you were. So if I hit the downward diagonal here, I can reverse it to the upward angle here. That's one way to think about it. I can also hit the target, relax the hand, and draw through, and hit the same target again. That's repeating the diagonal. It's just like doing this, except for I'm actually hitting something, and I'm making the decision. Relax the hand, pull through, and hit again at the same angle. So that's always an option too. So you can either hit and go somewhere else, or you can hit and pull through and strike again at the same zone.
Hey, Rustam, is there advantages, disadvantages to going clockwise or counterclockwise? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you can throw the same shot, like you can do backhand this way, or you can do a backhand, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know what I mean?
I'm not getting that. No.
So if I'm going to come clockwise, right, I'm going to go here. If I'm going to go counterclockwise, I'm going to, let's see, I know I can do this. Go here, or I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can decide to come down or up, you know? Like,
So an onside or an outside?
Basically, she's talking your recovery, whether you're recovering to the same side or you're recovering to the opposite side.
I mean, they're both circles, but
This versus that. Well, it depends on where the opening is going to be, I suppose, really. I mean, as far as the body is concerned, they're both equally valid. I think you're talking about like if I'm here, am I going to hit and pull through this way and continue to move? I guess that's clockwise, or am I going to hit and then reverse and hit back along the angle?
well, yeah, I mean, but you could throw a snap either way, right? So counterclockwise this way, clockwise this way,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
or this way.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. What's happening on that second return is what you're really doing is you're taking a piece of the figure eight. Okay, so here's my downward figure eight. And what's happening is I'm interfering with the figure eight here, and instead of continuing on this way, I'm deflecting off into this part of the downward figure eight here, and that's all it is returning along that side of the figure eight. And it works because it's stopping on something there, it's hitting something, and so instead of having to follow through to that side of the figure eight, it's returning on this side of the figure eight. And that can go the other way too. It can be upward and return along the upward figure eight.
To me, it feels like when you pull it back and let it come under, there's better acceleration than if you go this way. You know what I mean? Like, the acceleration just seems better.
Yeah, I think it depends on physiology.
Okay.
That's true for me too,
Yeah.
more comfortable.
This
But an addendum to that would be Duke Uther has a short return on that side.
I've seen that.
That's incredibly effective.
Yeah.
I can't do it, unfortunately, yet. I am
Okay.
working on it. And that is a downward and then short up to fire off the shoulder.
You have to be able to control the angles that you create by that short return. This return is one angle.
Yeah, I've come to favor the upward
Right.
return on the slide, but that downward return, not only does it date back to the old Bellatrix
Right.
return of the shoulder sweep, but Uther's taken it and turned it into a fluid, short teardrop return.
Okay.
All right. Okay, other things that we can do when we've ended up with long point, because we've stopped and hit something, is